dread turning on the TV nowadays. Do you? It is a surefire way of bringing on a feeling of hopelessness and anger and discouragement and fear. But I also can't go around with my head in the sand. There is so much going on right now. And just because I don't see something doesn't mean that it's not there. It doesn't make it go away or negate the reality of it. So so how do I stay sane? How do I keep my peace of mind? How do I rest in a world that is constantly ravaged with war, pandemics, crime, death? Even saying this is depressing me, and it's Monday morning. But we can create a semblance of peacefulness and stay sane in the midst of all of this, at least in our own corner of our world, in our own little world. And I'm going to show you how. So stay tuned and I'll be right back. I promise. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to Monday Mastery Moments with Michelle. And w- it's where busy moms, boy, my brain left me this morning, but it's where busy moms who find themselves mid career solopreneurs and just going through a different phase and a different change in their lives is where they can get tangible ways to enjoy the success of life without the sacrifice. I am live Mondays at 6 a.m. And if you're here with me today, you are on it. And I want to welcome you here. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And I'm here to give you your wake up call. So wake up. Good morning. Make sure you follow me on your platform of choice so you don't miss a single episode. And me, well, I'm Michelle O'Neill, your boundary strategist. That's right, you heard me right. I am your boundary strategist, and I love a great conversation. So, why don't you grab a cup of coffee, tea, whatever your warm beverage of choice is, and settle in so that we can hop into today's Monday Mastery Moment. So, my question to you is first of all, I want to say, hey, so how do we rein in a little piece of the world, our little piece of the world, and maintain sanity? I have 7 tactics. That's right. You heard me correctly. Today, it's not 3, but it's 7. 7 tactics that I want to share with you on Monday Mastery Moments. So let's jump right in. So I want to tell you what those 7 tactics are before we jump into them. We're going to talk about identifying and controlling your emotions. Can we do that? Yeah, I'll show you how. Focus on what you can do in the moment that will improve your situation immediately. You hear that? In the moment, immediately. We want to work on something that can help change it right then and there. And then ways to remain calm when you're working from home because a lot of you are still working from home because we're still dealing with the things in the world. So, or it's just your normal way of doing things. And it is a wonderful position to be in to be able to work from home. So, how do you blend that and remain calm when you're working from home? How to manage stress as a boss, a girl boss. That's right. How do you manage stress as a boss? And it is easier than you think. How to stay calm when people keep trying your patience. Oh, we all need that one. and ways to stay calm during a bad day because you can, and setting boundaries for yourself to have a stable and healthy life. So, we're going to touch each one of those. I can't dive deep in each one, but we will touch each one of them. So, I want to just give a shout out to you for being here. So, why don't you share your name and where you're from in the comments below. And if you're here in the replay, remember to put hashtag replay so I'll remember to come back, and I want to just give you a shout out and say, hey. And then I'd love to know, how is things affecting you today? How are you feeling as you turn on the TV, as you're dealing with your day to day? Some of you may still be isolated or dealing with things in your life that you feel all alone. How are you handling that? So give me a shout out. Let me check, make sure I see that you're there. I don't want to miss you. So, hey, just let me know that you're there. Um, excuse me. Sorry about that. Got a frog in my throat this morning. But let's hit point number one. What I want to talk about is, let's put it up there, identifying and controlling your emotions. So a lot of times we just get locked up in how we're feeling or what's going around there. But there are two things that we can specifically do to help us deal with our emotions. And those are, one, admit what you're feeling. What are you feeling? Name it and claim it because it is what you're feeling. Are you angry? Are you frustrated? Are you scared? Are you dealing with fear? What is the emotion that you're dealing with? Are you just overwhelmed right now? Are, is it that you're not even sure, or you're feeling a combination of emotions? Are you scared and angry at the same time because you're afraid of what's happening and you're angry that it's affecting you this way? So, what is it that you're feeling? And then we must nail down the why. Why are you feeling this way? Is it because of what's happening outside of you? Is it things that are beyond your control, but that's why you're angry, or that's why you're frustrated? Is it the people in your lives, or is it because of how you're handling it, and you're not happy with how you're reacting to the things in your life? Are you frustrated at yourself? Are you angry with yourself? Are you, whatever that emotion is, why are you feeling that way? And then there's this myth that we're living with, that we can control how we feel, that we have control over our emotions. But you know what? Let me encourage you to feel those emotions, and to dig into what it is that you're feeling. Okay? So I'm angry. I really am. I'm mad. I am pissed. And I feel this, and so now that you've claimed that emotion, well, why am I feeling this way? Is it something that someone did to me, or is it something that I let happen, and I'm angry at myself that I allowed myself to be put into that situation? So so then, as I rest in what I'm feeling and why I'm feeling, then you allow yourself to actually move through that. Once you say it out loud, and you claim that this is the way that I'm feeling, and this is why I'm feeling this way, now you can work yourself through it. So, trying to will that away, and you can't. Trying to pretend that it's not there, because that's what that willing it is away is stifling it and making yourself think that you're not really feeling that, it doesn't allow you to work through it. It's almost like dealing with the different stages of grief. You have to work through them. And sometimes you revisit a stage again and again. Sometimes you revisit that emotion over again because as you work through it, it brings it up again. It boils to the surface again. But it does allow us to work through it. And as we work through it, we begin to harness that energy, harness that and use it in different areas. Then you can harness those emotions and use that energy in a different way. When we're angry, do you know one of the things is when a lot of people deal with grief and anger and stuff, then you're allowed, and then you start moving through it, you're allowed to do something about it. Then you're ready to do something about it. So one of the first thing we want to do is identify and control. I mean, and control those emotions. I'm not saying will them away, but we can harness that energy and control them. So the second thing we want to talk about is focus on what you can do in the moment, that will improve your situation immediately. What can I do to not just make it go away, but how can I deal with those emotions? So one of the first things we can do is practice breathing exercises. I know you've heard this one before. Is sometimes just breathing in and slowly letting that emotion out is a way of honing your focus, is refocusing and slowing your heart rate while remaining calm. Just doing that right then, it just calm. You notice the difference in the way I'm talking, the difference in my energy. It allowed me to hone in onto what I'm feeling and just bring a calmness into the way I'm feeling. Because when I get before you, I am hyped. I am excited. I am thrilled that I get to be there with you. And so just taking that time to breathe. Hey, Liz, I am so glad to that you're there with me today. And let me see if I can just put her comment in there right now. Liz says that this is speaking to her and that she needed this. I am so glad that you woke up and joined us this morning. So like I said, we wanna then you wanna find that peace. You wanna find a specific place. Sometimes it's finding that place where you can be peaceful and comfortable. Sometimes it's in your home, sometimes it's outside, but it might be in nature, even just finding yourself a quiet place. So I wanna share with you a few of them that I think that you could bring. Sometimes it's your bedroom. You know how we say our bedrooms is our sanctuary. Sometimes we want to create that space where we can find peace. In my bedroom, I have two chairs. There's my chair and what I call my husband's chair, and mine is a rocker. And I love sitting in it because that rocking motion calms me down and gives me that sense of peace. But not only that, it's my finding a solarium. Sometimes it's a specific room in your home that is um, surrounded with windows, and just sitting in that room sometimes and looking out at what's outside gives you that sense of peace. As a mom, as a busy mom, sometimes it's just your bathroom. And that's the place that you've told everyone when I go in the bathroom, do not knock on the door. Do not bother me. At least let me have peace in the bathroom. And that's your peace. Sometimes it's taking a book or your phone or whatever, just going into the restroom and not using it, but sitting on the toilet, actually sitting there with the seat down on the toilet and just having that peace, soaking in that quiet, cutting the light off and soaking in the quiet of that room. And then there's something about a fireplace. If you can sit in front of a fireplace and sometimes just watch the flames and hear the crackle of the fire, feel the warmth. This becomes your place of peace. And if you don't have a fireplace, stepping outside, sitting in your car, standing on your front porch, whatever it is, standing on the balcony and feeling that sun just beat down on your skin, feeling the warmth, hearing the sounds of nature, that becomes your peace. And then finally, just being out in nature, walking outside and hearing the sounds of the birds, hearing the cars, that noise, that white noise, that pink noise of the cars just passing by, hearing the sound of the sound of people talking far away. But the thing is to find that space of peace, that sometimes that you can just pull yourself away. And then another way is practicing some form of exercise, whether it's yoga and breathing exercise to bring that peace, what we just talked about, or doing some strenuous exercise like doing weights and or running. So whether your exercise is passive or strenuous, walking, whatever it is, it allows the blood to flow through your body. It allows you to wake up and be alive. It allows your body to breathe. And then I want to talk about declarations of truth. We always talk about affirmations, and they're great and they're needed. Hey, Kristen, good morning, pretty girl. Yes, thank you. And I'm so thrilled that you're here. And we're going to talk about declarations of peace. But I also want to give a shout out. Kristen, thank you for being here. But those declarations of peace, let me go ahead and put that one up. I talked about ways of remaining calm. So I just get so into this that I forget to put the things up here. But um, we have our declarations of peace. And I guess I didn't do a thing for that. But Craig Groeschel's book, Winning the War of the Mind, an awesome book that I'm reading right now. And I love it. And I will read it again and again. He talks about declarations of truth. And what is so awesome about declarations of truth is that it's based on the evidence of truth. It's not just things that we're thinking, but they're things that we have evidence of, things that we know to be true. And those things are that we build our declarations around, you know, is like declarations like, I know that I have the ability to come up with solutions because I have the evidence that I've done it before. And then you pull up the ways that you've done it before. And so you're declaring to yourselves that this is something that you can do. And when you feel that you don't measure up, that you can't do it, that you're frustrated because I can't do this, you pull up that declaration of truth that you can, because you've done it in the past. You are, and you have the ability to come up with solutions because you've done it in the past. This is your declaration of truth. So start pulling up those declarations of truth in your life, things that you have evidence of, things that you know to be true, things that you know, whether it's biblically because you know the truths, or however you bring those truths in your lives. Then you declare those over your life. And the next time this lie comes into your mind, you pull this declaration of truth back. And then we're going to talk about our number 5 things is our white noise. pink noise and brown noise. And I know you've heard of white noise, but there's different decimals of noise. White noise are things like the whirling fan, the radio or television static, a vacuum, the humming air conditions. Those are the things that just sometimes you need those to just empty out things. Sometimes it's just soft music playing in the background. And the pink noise are things like the rustling of leaves, steady rain falling, waves crashing, heartbeats. And brown noise, which is my favorite, is low roarings. It's the strong waterfall sounds. It's the rumble of thunder. I love the lower decimal sounds. It's so warm and comforting to me. And if you're wondering where you can get these sounds, just go on YouTube and put in white noise, put in pink noise, put in brown noise. But I want you to go there and listen to the difference and see which one resonates with you, which one calms you, which one gives you that feeling of rest. And then use bring make yourself a playlist of them. And so the other day, one of the things I did is I got the brown noise, my brown noise, and it was waterfalls. But then I added something else that I know that I love hearing, and that's the chirping of birds in the background. So I went on YouTube and I put in brown noise with birds chirping in the background. And I found a beautiful, beautiful piece. And it was for 1 hour and 30 minutes. And I put it on in the background on my computer while I was working. And it was so calming for me that day. In fact, I remember my husband coming in and he said, I hear birds. Why do I hear birds chirping? And that's right, Kristen. So Kristen says she's never heard of pink and brown noise, but each one works for us a little different. And so you have to find the one that gives you that sense of peace. But it was funny when I talked to you about my birds chirping in the background. Well, I had left out the room and I came back a few minutes later and I'm like, I hear the birds outside. So it's just a wonderful thing and a calming thing to have in your background. And so I want to talk about also ways to remain calm when you're working from home. And I see that I had it up already. And oh, you neither, Liz. Okay. Well, now, all right, go to YouTube today. When you get off the live, don't go now. But when you get off live, go ahead and go out there and find out more about it because it is eye-opening and it is so calming. So now we're going to talk about ways to remain calm when working from home. And I know a lot of us are doing that now. So I want you, this is the most important thing. I want you to look for the blend and the wind, BLEND and the WIN. And what am I talking about? I'm saying there is a way to create a win when you learn how to blend your home life and your work life. And is a way to blend them at the same time to keep them separate, but you have to blend them and get things done. You can blend them and get things done. So the way to do it, first of all, is to create a space for communication, to have communication right up front, to have sit down and have that conversation whenever there's a change in life, whenever there's a change in routine. It's so important to communicate that, to communicate the changes and how it will affect everyone involved. So have that family meeting, have that meeting with those who are in your life who you're working from home will affect, and say, look, we have to find a way to blend this, to make this work. And the only way to do that is if all of us involved get together and figure out, talk about what's important. What are the things that you need to happen for you? And what are the things that I need to happen for me? And how we can make it happen, how we can blend our lifestyles, our new lifestyles, and make that happen. So communication is important. And then having those time blocks, blocking out time, blocking out breaks, and when you're going to take breaks, and what's going to happen in those breaks, or what can happen in those breaks, and when are going to be your dedicated focus time, so people don't interrupt you when you're focusing. In fact, when you're focusing on something, other people can focus on things. So focus. And then there's the pause. When are you going to pause? When are you going to allow for the time to just pause and refocus, make that shift? Because when you shift, that is removing your mind from one thing and turning it to something else. So you have to allow that second to pause. It's like, hold on, and then pause and refocus. And just talking about it and knowing that that's what's got to happen, it just allows you that piece of the shift. And then having separate spaces when it's possible. Sometimes we, with this new open floor plan, it's hard to have a place that, a room that you can go in and close the door, but just calling something your space and having that communication and letting the family know that this is going to be the space where I'm going to work. Even if it's the dining room table, it's like, okay, now that I'm working from home, after we eat, or take that eating into the kitchen and use it, that's your new office, whatever it is. But declaring it and letting people know that this is the way it's got to be done now. And how can we change it? Or how maybe from this hour to this hour, this is when we're going to use this space. And then during these hours, it's an open space. It's a free for all for everyone. And then you want to create your atmosphere. Create, just, how do I, this is my space. So I'm going to have a, a cup of coffee here. So when my drink thing here when I need it, I'm going to put pictures of this. I'm going to have music in the background. Whatever it is, create that atmosphere that you need to be your most productive. But there are ways to have that blend and win when you're working from home. And so my next thing that I want to talk about is how to manage stress like a boss. And I know these ladies here that are here with me today, and you who are out there on the replay or on the podcast, I know that you are boss ladies. So, how do we manage stress like the boss that we are? You know, realize, number one, what is in your control? What can I control? Because when you do that, you take ownership, leadership of the things that you can control. But at that same time, you allow yourself to let go of the things that you can't control. So it's like, when you know the things that are within your control, you begin to formulate a plan, think of a strategy, start working your mind around it on what it is that you can do to make things happen. As a boss, you know that I'm right. And then you begin to look at, what is my responsibility? What are the things that I want to take on as my responsibility and work them out? But then, number three, what are things that I can delegate? What are things that I want to pass that responsibility to grow on someone else? You can't do it all. And you are not allowing others to grow when you're taking the responsibility. I know, boss lady, that you can do it better, or you can do it faster, or you already have a plan on how to make it happen. But when you delegate that thing, you are moving things off your plate so you can focus on the things that you need to focus on that are in your ace space. And you're allowing other people to grow and be the best them. So allow other people to grow. And then when you are managing your stress well, you're asking yourself, how can I serve myself? But also, how can I serve others? When you're allowing your space by delegating and only taking responsibility for the things that you can do something about, you are showing up as the best boss and you are releasing some of that stress. Release. And then also, you're allowing yourself to work in the integrity of who you are. So that's how you can manage stress as a boss. And then my fifth tip is, how can you stay calm when people keep trying your patience? And we all have that. But I want you to remember you're also trying other people's patience too. But these are ways that you can keep calm when others are trying your patience. I say, first of all, focus on their strengths. What are the things about them that, if it's in a work situation, what made you hire them? What made them part of your team? What is it about them that you like? Why are they there? Is it that they are meticulous and they pay attention to details and that's not your strength? So although it drives you crazy that they're so OCD or whatever, that's their strength. And that's why you have them there in the first place. And that's why you're always turning certain things over to them. So focus in on their strengths. Remember why you like them, or either find something positive about them that you can like. Hey, they have a wonderful smile. And when that smile lights up their face, it makes you feel good and it makes you smile. So, what is it about them that you like? I'm sure you can find one thing, even if it's a person that is not your favorite person. There is one thing you can find about them that you like. And then a lot of times, just asking yourself, is that one thing about them that you don't like? Is it something that I do? You know, as a child, and we're all children to someone, sometimes you look at things that your mom does and you go, "Oh, that drives me crazy." And then you think, "Do I do that?" In fact, there are a lot of things that drive me crazy about my mom, or how I'll tell you, and mom, don't get mad at me if you see this, but she's always digging in for details. Well, what happened? Why this? And I do the same thing. And you know how I know? Because my daughter says, "Mom, I told you I don't know. Stop asking me." So ask yourself, do I do the same thing? And then again, we talked about that pause. Well, step back. Take a moment. When someone frustrates you, just hold on. Hold on. And you step back. And when that doesn't work, girl, wring their neck. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, but remove yourself. If stepping back doesn't work, remove yourself from the situation. Hey, if you got to say, "Hey, I got to go to the bathroom. Hold on." Just whatever it is. Find a way to remove yourself. regroup. Use some of those exercises that I talked about before. Breathing, and then come back if you need to come back, or remove yourself from the day, whatever it is. And so, our next to the last thing that I want to talk about is we want to, we want to, the thing is, how do we stay calm? Let's see if I can find it. How do we stay calm during a bad day? Okay, girl, go back to bed. No, I'm just kidding. If you can, that's great, but most of us can't. So, if you're having a bad day and probably it's too late in the day anyway to go back to the bed, just stop. I said pause. I said step back. Stop. Just stop. Give yourself 5 minutes if you need 5 minutes, but stop. Just stop the craziness. Stop allowing it to pull you and propel you forward. Just stop. Go back to the breathing, whatever it is you need to do, the exercise. Go outside, but stop. And then I would encourage you to let others know. I have friends that I can call and just say, "Oh, this is not the day," or say, "I'm struggling here," and they just say, "I got you. Do you want to talk about it?" And I'm like, "Mm-mm, can't even do that right now." And they say, "I'm praying for you. I got you." And just knowing that one is letting it come out of my mouth. Just saying that is so, it's just a release. But not only that, just knowing that someone is there who has my back, knowing that I can share that it's not a good day. I even do that with my husband. I said, "Babe," he'll come in and the first thing he says is, "How you feeling? How was your night?" And I know that I can honestly say, "It was a rough one," or and he knows what that means. So letting others know. And I talked about those calming rituals, those things we talked about earlier. Find out what works for you and lean back into that. And then if that doesn't work, above all, it's okay to cry, to scream, whatever it is that lets you release it out of your body. Release it. Release. Relax. Let go. I feel like I should be singing this song with that one. Release, relax, let go. Remember that. Release, relax, let go. Do the motion. Release, relax, let go. Just do it. And that let go is to put those hands down and open palms, let go. When your palms are open, you can't hold on. Release, relax, let those shoulders down and let go. Open those hands. I'm going to keep that one. I like that one. And our final things we're going to talk, the final thing we're going to talk about today is setting boundaries for yourself for a stable and healthy life. Everything we talked about today requires you putting some type of boundary in place. It's setting those limits to allow yourself to do those things. Everything we talked about is an action that we have to take. And in order to take the action, we have to do something to create that space to let that action take place. And that's how we remain a calm, stable, healthy life. Look, I hope that you have found something here today that you can use, that you can walk away with, then I would encourage you to come back and revisit this. If you can't remember, bookmark it, whatever, save it into your favorites, but come back to this so that you can remember these techniques, whatever it is that works for you to help you when you're dealing with your angry world, when your things outside of you, things that are beyond your control happen. How can you create your own space in your own little world to help you deal with the chaos that's out there in the big world? So I just want to thank you. And if you like what you got today, if you want to join our community, the Monday Q crew, where you can get tidbits, tips, and techniques on how to master your Monday and your life, go to meet.michelleoneil.com/crew. You heard me, meet.michelleoneil.com/crew. And so I put the base down here on the screen below. But if you want to join our crew, put down /crew and get your tidbits, tips, and techniques on how to master your Monday. I am so thrilled that you were able to hang out with me today and hang out with me on the replay or on the podcast, whichever. I am so glad that you were here today. And I want you to know that you are amazing, simply amazing. Yes, this hyped girl is me, 6 o'clock in the morning. You can get hyped with me. I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you haven't done so already, I want you to subscribe. If you're on the podcast, follow, like, register if it's in an event, whatever it is. But I don't want you to miss a single episode. You never know what tip or surprise or rest is there for you. So I don't want you to miss what I'm up to either. I want to let you know everything that's going on. So again, go to meet.michelleoneil.com and visit it. And I have a free gift for you while you're there. Make sure you get that too. Let me know how I can serve you and support you further so that you can master every day like it's your Monday. Take care. Bye bye.